challenges, in our opinion, seem to have overwhelmed our security institutions.
The governors are supposed to be the state security officers of their state.
There is need for us to at least engage the traditional rulers.
We need to do something about our porous borders.
We have to own it from the unit level to the ward level to the local government to state.
Mr. President, the importance of today for us is for us to take action.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Letting the judgment to go without concern will become a precedent.
Senate to appeal High Court ruling on Section 84, subsection 12 of Electoral Act.
This is a case of murder and it should be treated as such.
And tough talk at the Senate over the alleged inhuman treatment of Nigerians by foreigners. Welcome to this episode of Inside the Senate. I am Hussaina Amina Abuki, your host. The Senate last week resolved to appeal the ruling of the Federal High Court Umuahia, which declared Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act as being unconstitutional. The resolution is consequent upon a motion calling on it to appeal the ruling. We have a full report on this development, alongside details of other bills and motions considered last week in the Senate. The program also contains a report from an oversight tour by the Committee on Science and Technology. Do stay tuned for the details of these and more after the break.
The Senate will send a message to the President
to reap opportunities from that.
To raise a matter of urgent public importance.
And we are aware that when this particular motion comes up,
for a longer term development, arise to second the motion.
Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Welcome back. Recall that President Muhammadu Buhari had on the 1st of March 2022 sent a letter to the Senate in which he requested the deletion of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act 2022 because it will disenfranchise Nigerians in elections in contravention of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The Senate had rejected consideration of the matter following a negative voice vote. Following this, a Federal High Court in Umuahia on Friday the 18th of March 2022 in a ruling on the matter declared the said Section 84 subsection 12 as illegal and unconstitutional on the ground that it is inconsistent with certain provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The 1999 Constitution as amended provides that government appointees seeking to contest elections must resign at least 30 days to the date of the election, while Electoral Act Section 84, subsection 12 provides that all political appointees wishing to vote or be voted for at party primaries level must resign 6 months to the date of the election. Reacting to the ruling of the High Court, the Senate on Wednesday the 23rd of March 2022 considered a motion titled Urgent Need to Appeal the Judgment of the Federal High Court Umuahia on Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act. It was sponsored by Senator George Sekibo and co-sponsored by over 80 senators. He gave the interpretation of the said Section 84, subsection 12.
Section 84, subsection 12 of the 2022 Electoral Act exclusively confers to nominations, conventions, and congresses called for candidate selection and not participation in the general election, which Section 66(1)(f), 107(1)(f), 137(1)(g), and 182(1)(g were referring to. Letting the judgment to go without concern will become a precedent on which any person could go to the court and obtain judgment to ridicule the good intentions of the National Assembly as an institution.
The content of the motion is straightforward, is clear enough, and the resolution sought is also clear enough.
The resolution, therefore, was for the Senate to appeal the judgment of the Federal High Court Umuahia on the suit to set aside the ruling. The motion was adopted. Also treated were bills for second reading. One of them, the National Inspector General for Tax Crimes Commission Establishment Bill 2022, was sponsored by the Senate Whip, Senator Orji Uzokalu.
By establishing a National Tax Crime Commission, we are enabling the criminal tax investigators with their unique forensic accounting skill to be well positioned to combat these national security threats and pursue illicit financial flows that were either derived from tax evasion, international tax schemes, cybercrime, and terrorist financing.
The bill was seconded by Senator Jibril Issa, following which it was read second time and referred to the Committee on Finance to report back in 4 weeks. Another piece of legislation considered was the Nigerian Economic Diversification Council Establishment Bill 2022, sponsored by the Senate's Deputy Whip. He said the bill would promote indigenous capacity development in sectors outside oil.
The bill identifies some critical sectors, industries in which there are lack of capacity development, thereby depriving the country of revenues. Consequently, the bill made provisions for the development of Nigerian indigenous capacity in these sectors or subsectors. For example, lack of indigenous capacity development in the solid minerals was identified as acquisition of modern mining equipment by Nigerians to mine solid minerals for the benefit of the country, which are since giving room for foreigners to unlawfully collaborate with indigenous Nigerians to exploit various solid minerals and ferry these resources out of the country without any benefit to the country.
Having a bill to give a legislative framework and a backing is a good starting point, Mr. President.
The bill scaled second reading and referred to the Committee on Agriculture to report back in 4 weeks.
Mr. President, I move.
A bill titled the Nigerian Investment Promotion Act Amendment Bill 2022, sponsored by Senator Uche Ekunife, was also considered for second reading.
The bill seeks to amend the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission Act to protect our micro, small, and medium enterprises from unfair competition by foreign individuals or enterprises.
When you kill SMEs, you kill the economy of Nigeria. They are the highest number of employers of labor. Therefore, any law that will protect them should be welcome.
Consequently, the bill was read a second time and referred to the Committee on Trade and Investment to report back in 4 weeks. We will now open our notebook segment. Stay tuned for our topic of the week.
The gavel is a mallet used by the presiding officer during the Senate plenary or committee proceeding for commanding attention, announcing the end of a deliberation, or confirming a legislative action.
Those against any, the ayes have it.
It is so important that it is used by all legislatures around the world.
The only way out of the pandemic is for the population to observe the recommended measures advised by the NCDC. The Senate Committees on Health and Primary Health Care and Communicable Diseases will continue to engage with the Federal Ministry of Health and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19.
Welcome back from that break. The program continues with more reports from the chamber. Earlier on Tuesday, the 22nd of May 2022, the Senate deliberated on the inhuman treatment and torture of Nigerian citizens by foreigners, particularly Lebanese, Turkish, and Chinese nationals. The report, alongside others, are compiled and presented from our studio.
It is my pleasure to move the motion.
In a motion titled Need to Check the Inhuman Treatment and Torture of Nigerians by Foreign Nationals, the sponsor, Senator Degi Eremio, alleged the brutalization of a Nigerian and Chadian on the orders of a Lebanese working with Husseini Technical Company on the allegations of theft of iron rods.
The Lebanese ordered some of his Nigerian subordinates to gag the mouths of Anayo Friday in Bibisi and the late Chadian with rags to stifle any noise from them, beat the victims mercilessly with iron rods, tied them to a car and drove them around their premises. The Lebanese also set his dog upon the victims and the said dog attacked them.
One contribution to the motion was taken.
There are several of these cases all over the place, but they are never reported because of fear of further victimization. Your Excellency, sir, I want to believe that this is a case of murder and it should be treated as such with all the attendant penalties.
One of the resolutions adopted was to call on the Inspector General of Police to investigate the matter and take actions to bring it to an end.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I want to come under Order 42, personal explanation.
The Senate Deputy Whip, under personal explanation, reported increased bandits' activities in his constituency, stating that the bandits on the 14th of March 2022 attacked the Mariga Divisional Police Station, killing the DPO Mr. Omar Mohammed Dakingari, known to be a very gallant officer, alongside 2 other officers as well as 6 members of the Vigilantes Corps of that area.
It's a very touching moment, a very emotional one. It has really infuriated even some of the residents to the extent that some people are even being attacked as a result of that episode.
He added that a few days later, the security agents in a counterattack killed many of the bandits and arrested some others. The Deputy Senate President, who led plenary that day, reacted to this.
They would have wished that they took a proactive action, not an action coming after lives have been lost.
Several bills scaled second reading last week. One of them sought the establishment of a commission for the coordination and maintenance of government infrastructure, amongst others. In the bill titled Bill for an Act to Provide for the Facilitation and Coordination of Public Infrastructure Development in the Country, the sponsor, Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar, alleged poor legal framework amongst MDAs to supervise and coordinate government infrastructures.
This bill therefore seeks to ensure a more strategic, coordinated response to these challenges by proposing, amongst other mechanisms, the establishment of a National Integrated Infrastructure Coordinating Commission.
It is very important because we now know where to put, rather who to hold accountable when it comes to issues of infrastructure.
When we invest heavily on the maintenance of our roads and yet they remain unpassable throughout the year, then it means we must put something somewhere where some people can be held to account.
However, one senator was against the bill.
You have due process, you have project implementation, you have Ministry of Works. This is just another attempt to create a bureaucracy that will continue to put a bleed on the taxpayers and the national resource. I oppose it, and I oppose it vehemently.
Even then, the bill scaled second reading and was referred to the Committee on National Planning to report back in 4 weeks.
And my distinguished colleagues, permit me to lead the debate on the general principles of this bill.
Also presented for second reading was the Quarantine Act 2004 Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2022, sponsored by Senator Chukwuka Utazi. He stated that the act, which was enacted in 1926, is deficient in the aspect of enforcing quarantine and self-isolation of infected persons during the outbreak of dangerous and contagious diseases, epidemics, or pandemics in the country.
The bill seeks to effectively address these gaps and put in place a legislation that is up to date with modern realities regarding the management of diseases, epidemics, or pandemics by expanding the scope and interpretation of dangerous infectious diseases beyond what is contained presently in the Quarantine Act.
In view of the challenges that we face, more especially the recent experience of COVID, it is important that we strengthen our system to conform with established civilized standards. And in doing so, this is one intervention that points to that effect.
Accordingly, the bill scaled second reading and was referred to the Committee on Primary Health to report back in 4 weeks.
The program is Inside the Senate. Earlier on, we reported that the Senate has taken the decision to appeal the High Court's ruling, which declared that Section 84, subsection 12 of the recently enacted Electoral Act as unconstitutional. We also reported on other bills and motions considered during plenary of last week, spanning Tuesday 22nd to Thursday 24th March 2022. We will take our next report from the committee room, where the Senate President has described microbiology as a discipline relevant to other sectors like the agriculture, petroleum, pharmaceuticals, nutrition, ECT. For details, let's take this report presented from our studio.
The Senate Committee on Establishment recently organized a public hearing on a bill for an act to establish the Microbiology Council of Nigeria. This was on the 17th of March 2022. The hearing was declared open by Senate President Ahmed Lawan, who was represented by the Senate Deputy Leader, Senator Ajayi Boniface. He spoke on the importance of microbiology to several other sectors and establishments dealing with microbiological creations in addition to its benefits to the health sector.
What this means is that the proposed body has been well conceived as an agency to regulate the convoluted process of managing the sectors through a harmony of principles and practices for the overall benefit of the country and the society at large.
The committee chairman spoke on the public hearing.
We're here to discuss the establishment of Microbiology Council of Nigeria, and hence we wrote out to respective stakeholders and issued out public announcements inviting all concerned to come and share with us their views, their stand for or against what is before us.
Stakeholders gave different opinions on the bill.
The council, if in place, will prepare for emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases like the COVID. We thank COVID, not that we like it, but COVID has, portrayed the importance of microbiology. The issue of vaccine, we cannot treat viral diseases, but we can promote local production of our vaccines. Nigeria should no longer rely on donation and importation. We can save a lot, Mr. Chairman. Nigeria has a lot to do to citizenry. So that is why we are looking for the council.
We refer to Clause 2D, where the proposed bill, under the functions of the council, says it is to regulate the production, importation, sale, and stocking of food products, drink, wear, drugs, and other associated products requiring microbiological attention. This is one of the core functions of NAFDAC. The government should graciously strengthen NAFDAC, the structures to perform better in what we are already doing, instead of creating new organization for duplication.
Establishing this bill will go a long way in reducing the imports of so many things that we can produce locally.
If we can establish this bill, there will be enough opportunity for us to be able to do even more than other nations are doing.
Nobody cares about what they do in the industrial microbiology. We are not, but medical microbiology is an integral part of medical laboratory science. We do not against the creation of the council, but it cannot come and smuggle their way into the health sector and the health system of Nigeria.
After more contributions, the committee promised to compile its findings in a report to be presented to plenary for legislative action.
Thank you very much.
Outside the National Assembly, the Committee on Science and Technology was on an oversight of the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, on Tuesday, the 22nd of March 2022. They were welcomed on arrival by the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the agency, Professor MS Haruna.
Notable among the mechanisms put in place by the framers of NASENI Act.
In her address, the committee chairman spoke on what they have done to ensure the implementation of the provision of the NASENI Act, which stipulates that 2% from the Federation account from 1992, as well as a levy of 0.25% of companies with a turnover of 100 million naira and above, should be credited to the agency's account for optimal performance.
Despite these provisions, NASENI was unable to access this funding until the present Senate Committee on Science and Technology, with full cooperation of this very hard-working NASENI DJ, worked successfully to ensure that funding of NASENI is as captured in the Enabling Act. From the legislative angle, let me reiterate that the Senate Committee on Science and Technology is ever determined to encourage any positive step taken towards the development of science and engineering infrastructure for socio-economic well-being of our great nation.
The CEO of the agency responded,
"We thank you very much for paying us oversight function and for keeping us on our toes. You have always reminded us you are coming to see this project. May I crave your indulgence to carry you through some physical projects that are going on at NASENI headquarters so that I familiarize you with that and you also assess the level of the completions of these projects."
And so, the committee in one of the agency's laboratories inspected one of the creations of the agency, solar energy panels, where the chairman and a member sought explanations.
What is the capacity? The capacity of the factory for one shift now is 7.5 megawatt per annum, but with raw material, it can be up to 21.
By the time you have solar production here in Nigeria, it will alter the power generation equation, you know. So I really think this should be given some level of priority.
Another creation of the agency was an energy transformer.
This transformer, is it for solar or for any? This transformer is meant to step down 11 kV on the high voltage, and for solar, we don't normally, we generate in DC, we convert into AC.
Highlight of the oversight was the inspection of ongoing constructions of office accommodations, conference halls, and laboratories, amongst others. At the end of the visit, the committee expressed satisfaction at what they have seen and urged the agency to do more.
Coming up next is our profile segment. Stand by for our Senator of the Week.
Senator Aishatu Dahiru Ahmad represents Adamawa Central Senatorial District under APC. She attended Gadabawa Primary School in Jimeta Yola for her first school leaving certificate in 1982 and Government Girls Secondary School also in Jimeta for her senior school certificate in 1987. For tertiary education, she attended Federal Polytechnic Mubi for a higher national diploma HND in Electrical and Electronics Engineering in 1993. Senator Aishatu Dahiru also attended the University of Southampton, UK for a certificate in Rural Radio System in 1998 and Nasarawa State University, Kefi for a postgraduate diploma in 2016. Senator Aishatu Dahiru also held the position of an electronic technician with Siemens PLC Abuja before venturing into private business. She joined politics and was elected to the House of Representatives to represent Yola North, Yola South and Gire Federal Constituency from 2011 to 2015. She contested to the Senate in the 2019 general elections and won to represent Adamawa North Senatorial District, making her the only female senator from the North. In the Senate, she is the chairman, Senate Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, vice chairman, Senate Committee on Women Affairs, as well as a member of several other committees. Senator Aishatu Dahiru also earned awards from several organizations and holds the title of Gimbiar Adamawa in recognition of her philanthropic activities. Her legislative interests are women and youth empowerment, grassroots development, and education.
This brings us to the end of Inside the Senate this week. Until I come your way again with a fresh edition, stay safe and thanks for watching.